Hi, I'm Steve Bookbinder. For the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about the foundation principle underpinning the DEI philosophy. It's called the Prospect Management System and has been taught to thousands of successful salespeople around the world for more than 25 years. At first glance, the Prospect Management System looks like a simple funnel. But soon you realize its simplicity is misleading. It's been designed to give managers tremendous insight into their entire sales team and each seller's forecast and individual sales ability. Let's get started. What I'm showing you right now is a picture of a prospect base. What you see are 6 columns. You see the closed column, 3 prospect columns, which are the various phases of prospecting, which I'll explain in a minute. Before that, you see the appointment column, and before that are all the opportunities. Well, if you look at this, we'll call this Formation A. Now compare Formation A to Formation B. You see the difference? Formation A hardly has anything it's about to close, and more of the prospects are at the beginning stages of the prospect base, where prospect board B shows more prospects at the end. Well, what's the difference? Well, it looks like I want B more than I want A, but if you think about it, B is going to lead to a bunch of sales happening soon, and after which a long drought. As opposed to A, which means that a couple of sales are going to happen soon, and there'll still be sales after that, and after that, and after that. When you think about it, that's what we want. We want closes, but closes come from prospects. You need more prospects than closes. To maintain your prospects, you need more appointments. You need this many appointments to maintain this many prospects to have this many closes. If you want to change the number of closes, you need to change the number of prospects. If you want to maintain the number of closes, you need to maintain or manage your prospect base, hence prospect management. So companies that are using the system are specifically managing their prospect base, and they do so through managing their prospecting activity and looking at their board all the time. Now, what am I actually looking at when I look at each prospect? Well, I'm looking at the 3 most important things to see: the name of the prospect, the original first appointment date, and the dollar value. Now, let me explain why those are the 3 most important data points to look at. Each prospect has a name. Of course, it makes sense to see who am I going after or who that salesperson's going after. The dollar value tells us if it's bigger or smaller than our average sale. Bigger sales usually take longer. Smaller sales usually take shorter. And so I want some big, some medium, some small. In fact, I want my close column to have a balance of big, medium, and small, and therefore I need to see that balance across my prospect base. And for that to happen, I need to see that balance in my appointment column. And further, I want to look at the date of the first appointment. Now, why? This is the most important part about the system, because my real prospects are, first of all, going to the next step. But they're also doing everything within their normal selling cycle. The normal selling cycle is the normal amount of time or average amount of time it takes most sales to go in your business to go from the beginning to the end of the process. So if the average sale takes 8 weeks, even if the occasional sale took only 1 week or took 10 weeks, if the average sale takes 8 weeks, that's your normal selling cycle. And any sale going longer than its normal sales cycle is less likely to happen. So by keeping my eye on original first appointment dates, at the end of the sales cycle, that is to say, any sale that's longer than, let's say, 8 weeks old, I start to take out of the funnel. Well, if I remove from my prospect base everything that's too old, plus take everything out that's not moving forward, I have a clean prospect base. If I, as a manager, am looking at an individual salesperson's prospect base, and I see they've got this many things in the first column, but only this many things in all the other columns, I know that there's either an activity problem, a priority problem, or a skill deficiency problem that's preventing them from moving enough things through the pipeline. And so I'm able to diagnose that quickly, and I'm able to address those issues either on an individual basis or as a team. For a team perspective, I want there to be enough prospects to give me my sales goal. Well, if I tally up the entire dollar value of all the real prospects, I end up with a big number. If I apply the right factor to that number, I can have a realistic forecast. When will those sales happen? Within my normal sales cycle. So as a manager, I have to ensure that the sales are going to happen. I don't want to get hit by the bus. I don't want to get to the end of the month and then discover that my sales aren't going to happen. I want to see it coming all along the way. And I can see that by constantly looking at my prospect base, tallying up the numbers, figuring out what the total value is, and adding the right factor to that so that I can appropriately figure out the right amount of sales that will come from that. In order to maintain or manage that or grow that, I need to maintain, manage, or grow my number of appointments. Now watch this. Look at this configuration. Here we have a case where there's hardly anything except in the middle of the board. That's telling us that those are the sales that are 50-50, that are about to get a decision against them. Well, if the only sales that a salesperson has are in that column, that salesperson has nothing really going on, because every sale in that column, we're waiting for a decision. We're waiting against all of them. And all of that time we spend waiting, what we really need to do is take that waiting time and use it for prospecting, because everything that's going to happen is either going to bring us closer to a close or further from a close. Either way, we're going to lose those prospects. We're going to lose them very soon. So I need to manage my activity so I can manage my prospect base. I need to manage my prospects in terms of who I'm going after so that I can make sure my forecast is right. I have to manage my forecast accuracy, and I do that by cleaning up my prospect base and making sure that everybody on the team is following the same rules. When you bring in a DEI licensee, we show you how to create that system for your team and how to maintain it and how to work with it so that even after we're gone for years and years and years, your team can continue to reap the benefits of having a prospect management system. And you'll see that your sellers will improve. Find out more about this proven sales process that works. Contact DEI today.